It's so important from me to you to know that 1 + 1 = 1 is not a book. It's a life story. It's about the principle of oneness, the law of oneness. Shirley had such wisdom in the area of marriage and oneness. And this wisdom is powerful to transform a marriage. This is one of the things she had to say.
Well, one of the beautiful pictures that I remember is we were always trying to look for people older than us that had been married longer than us to speak into our lives and mentor us. And we had a lot of those friends that really helped us along the way when we first got married. And, I think that really helps if you just confide in people that have knowledge and have been on this marriage journey longer than you have. It really helped.
I've always wanted Shirley to be everything she wants to be. I've always supported her, no matter what it was that she wanted to do with her life. And likewise, she has supported me. There's never been any jealousy in our relationship. There's really never been the kind of conflict where we're competing with each other. There's only really two principles of marriage. You either complete each other as God intended, or you compete with each other. And we don't really have any competition between us. We help each other. When something really great happens to her, nobody's more excited than I am. When something great happens to me, nobody's more excited than she is. And it's really always been that way.
Well, it's teamwork, and you have to come together, as a team. Sometimes when even the husband's out working all day, and I really appreciate the men and how they work and support their families. I'm always been for men 100%, just as much as I am for women. But I love the fact that the Bible teaches us that the man is the priest of the home. And I even to this day go to Tony for advice and his wisdom because I believe in that scripture. But when the man comes home and the wife maybe has been there, she may not be working a job, although most women now work a job outside the home. The percentage is very high. But they come together as a team and they do the things that need to be done, like the cooking and the dishes and getting the kids' homework and getting the kids ready to bed. And if you do it as teamwork, instead of saying, that's your job, that's not my job, or that's my job and not your job, it's just going to have conflict.
Well, I think one of the things that you and I worked out very early on was that we had much more time together if we did things together. Right. So I didn't really think anything about us getting up every morning and we would always make our bed. I know some people don't make their bed, but Shirley's not that kind of person. So we would always make the bed. She never wanted dishes left in the sink. So I learned very early on, you don't leave dishes in the sink. I learned very early on where the dirty laundry goes. And so those things that cause a little bit of contention in some people's marriages never had a chance with us because we wanted to be together. We wanted to do things together. Mm-hmm. We still like to do things together. We still have our date night. That's important to us. And we keep that date night every week, regardless of what's going on in our lives. I just think that sometimes couples stop doing the little things that make them one. There's absolutely nothing I can't share with her. There's nothing she can't share with me. Sometimes we get tough with each other. Sometimes we don't agree. But we found a way to disagree agreeably.
Just, continue to grow together, to glean off of one another, learn together. And what I learned through reading or study, I share it with my husband and he does the same with me. And we're both growing. But it all comes down to the heart. Keep your heart for God. Let God be number one in your heart. Then he'll be number one in your marriage. And then he'll be number one with your children. And that fivefold plan we've always taught. How God is first in your life. And then your husband or wife is number two. Number three is your children. Number 4 is the work of God. So don't get confused with the work of God with God in your heart. And then number 5 is your job outside your home. And if you keep that proper order, you're going to have a great marriage and a successful marriage and a wonderful family where you raise your children up to love the Lord with all their heart.